Hey everybody, Brant here with Nutrition First Coaching, and in today's video we're going to talk about mechanics, consistency, and intensity. And you know I love analogies, so we're going to give it an analogy to exercise and give that exercise analogy to nutrition so that I can tell you how these things fall into place, why there's a hierarchy to this order, and then how to execute each one to make sure you're covering your MCIs. Now let's get to the video. Mechanics, consistency, and intensity. Now there is definitely a hierarchy of these three things when it comes to anything in life. Let's compare it to anything related to exercise or sports. First, we have to know the mechanics. Let's take something as simple as running. We have to know how to run correctly, and a lot of us think we know how to, but that might not be the case, because if we try to do that without having correct mechanics, and we try to do it consistently 3, 4, 5 times a week, and then we add intensity, which can be duration, it can be how hard you're running, it can be the conditions you're running in, it can be running uphill or downhill or on trails. The next thing we get is injury. But if we do these things in the correct order, we make sure we have good running mechanics, our feet aren't pronating, we have good strength in our hips to support our knees and our ankles, we have good mobility in all our joints, and we have a nice upright posture when we run. We have rotation at the thoracic spine, not at the lumbar spine and the hips. Now we can start doing this consistently. As we do it consistently, then we can start to slowly add intensity to it. So this might be slowly ramping up your run over time, making run on harder surfaces, running intervals. You kind of get the point. What if we compare it to squatting? We all think we know how to squat, right? Well, stand up and try to squat. It's harder than you think, and to do it correctly takes some coaching. You have to have the mechanics correct, you have to have the ability to squat. Then you can start to do that consistently over time. Then you can add intensity, speed of the squat, load to the squat, you name it. That's how intensity gets added. So this is talking about nutrition. Let's talk about nutrition in terms of mechanics, consistency, and intensity. And most people want to go right to the intensity part. They want to do 30-day calorie restriction, keto diet, cleaning everything out of the house. I'm going to exercise every day. I'm going to drink 100 ounces of water. It's all intensity, intensity, intensity. No mechanics have been practiced, and there's no consistency established at all. So in terms of mechanics, what we're going to look at is a simple phrase, kind of morphed it from a few different people. Eat real food, mostly plants, lean proteins, and not more than you need to support optimal function. So that means you're not eating excess calories, that means you're covering all your macronutrients, and you're getting plenty of good lean proteins to help with recovery, tissue support, building muscle. If you're doing that consistently, the mechanics part, now you can start to put that into habits in your life. So if we're in the consistency, now we're developing good habits, we're trying to put them in place so that you can execute them week after week. This becomes a lifestyle. So now it's a consistent lifestyle executed with the mechanics of nutrition. Now that we've done that, we can add the intensity component. The intensity component to me, when it comes to the mechanics and the consistency of nutrition, I think that's finding a balance between enjoying life, being healthy, and interacting quote unquote normally in situations. So you're not that person that's bringing all their own food and their own scale, and you got to measure everything, and you won't try anything because, it might have gluten in it, and you heard once that gluten was bad for you, and you're not going to eat that because, that's got corn in it, and corn has all these GMOs, and, that becomes an obsessive weirdness around nutrition versus enjoying the party you're at or trying something somebody made that gives them great pleasure in seeing you enjoy the food they made. That's where the intensity part comes in. This is when you really have practiced the mechanics and you're doing them consistently, that you can play with other parts of the intensity. Maybe you do go keto for a week or two. Maybe you cycle in and out of ketosis. Maybe you try more of a higher protein, moderate carbohydrate diet. Maybe you're trying different fasting windows, and maybe you're even doing multiple day fasts to see for spiritual reasons, or to see how your body reacts, and just to kind of grasp the concept of not eating for several days. That's where the intensity can fall in, but only after the mechanics and the consistency have been established. I know this is kind of weird analogies to all that, but it's just one more way to look at it, that you have to get the basics down, has to be the mechanics first, then you have to be able to do them consistently over time. Once you're executing that, then you can add the intensity. So let's get out there, let's perform all this in life, just like you would with anything that's important to you. Figure out what you need to know for your mechanics, apply consistency, and then you can start playing with intensity. Do this with your nutrition, do this with your health in general, whether that's exercise, stretching, eating, nutrition. Get out there and try it. I hope you like these videos. Like and subscribe. Submit me some questions if you want to DM me something, and I'll see you next week.